You think you're tired, but you're not. Your body isn't exhausted. Your brain is overloaded. From the moment you wake up, you scroll. Notifications, messages, reels, news, emails. Your mind never gets silence. And then you say, I don't feel like doing anything. But it's not laziness. It's overstimulation. Your brain has consumed more information in one day than previous generations consumed in a week. Constant input, constant comparison, constant noise, and your nervous system never resets. So when it's finally time to work, to focus, to think deeply, your brain says, no more. Not because you're weak, but because you're saturated. And that's the modern exhaustion nobody talks about. Here's what's actually happening inside your brain. Every scroll, every notification, every short video releases dopamine. Small hits, fast rewards, instant stimulation. Your brain starts adapting to speed. Fast cuts, fast information, fast emotion shifts, and slowly, normal life starts feeling slow. Reading a book? Too boring. Working on one task for 30 minutes? Feels painful. Even sitting in silence? Uncomfortable. Not because you lack discipline, but because your brain has been trained to expect constant novelty. When novelty drops, motivation drops. This is called dopamine dysregulation. You're not lacking energy. You're lacking contrast. Your mind is so used to high stimulation that normal focus feels underwhelming. And here's the emotional impact. You start questioning yourself. Why can't I focus? Why am I so unmotivated? Why do I feel drained all the time? So you consume more content to feel better, which overstimulates you more, and the cycle continues. The scary part? You don't even feel excited anymore. You feel restless because overstimulation doesn't create joy. It creates noise. And noise slowly turns into mental fatigue, the worst kind. The kind where you slept 8 hours but still feel exhausted. Now, here's where it gets dangerous. Overstimulation doesn't just make you tired, it destroys depth. Deep work requires boredom tolerance. It requires sitting with one idea, one task, one thought, without escape. But your brain has been conditioned to escape instantly. The moment something feels slightly uncomfortable, you reach for your phone. The moment work feels hard, you open another tab. The moment silence appears, you fill it. And ambition quietly suffers. Because ambition isn't built in bursts of hype. It's built in long, uninterrupted focus. In 2026, attention is currency. And most people are broke, not because they lack intelligence, but because they lack control over their input. You can't build a sharp mind while feeding it constant noise. You can't expect clarity while consuming chaos. And the worst part? Overstimulation makes you feel busy without making you productive. You watched 40 videos, read 20 posts, saved 15 productivity tips, but built nothing. That creates frustration. Frustration creates self-doubt. Self-doubt kills momentum, and suddenly you think, maybe I'm just not disciplined. But discipline isn't the first problem. Environment is. Your brain can't perform at elite level if it never gets to reset. Here's the reset nobody takes seriously. Silence. Not music in the background, not a podcast playing, not productive noise. Actual silence. Your brain needs boredom. It needs moments where nothing is happening, because boredom is the gateway to clarity. When you remove constant stimulation, your nervous system slows down. Your thoughts settle. Your baseline dopamine resets. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The first few days feel terrible. You'll feel restless, anxious, like you're missing something. Because you are. You're missing constant input, and your brain is craving it. That craving isn't weakness, it's withdrawal. From speed, from novelty, from endless scrolling. Most people quit here. They say, this isn't working. But what's really happening is recalibration. When you allow silence back into your life, focus starts lasting longer. Simple tasks feel easier. Motivation returns naturally. Creativity increases. You don't need more productivity hacks. You need less noise. Because your brain isn't broken, it's overstimulated. And when stimulation drops, clarity rises. No extreme detox, no disappearing from society, just controlled reduction. Day 1. Remove morning input. For the first 60 minutes after waking up, no phone, no scrolling, no notifications. Just water, light movement, planning your day. You're teaching your brain to start with intention, not reaction. Day 2. Single task rule. For one block of 45 minutes, do one thing. No switching tabs, no background videos, no checking messages. You're rebuilding depth. Day 3. Notification audit. Turn off all non-essential notifications, social media, news alerts, random app pings. If it's not urgent, it doesn't deserve instant access to your attention. Day 4. Silence block. Sit in silence for 15 minutes. No music, no content, no journaling. Just sit. Your brain will resist. That's the reset happening. Day 5. Low stimulation evening. After 8 p.m., no short-form content. No endless scrolling. Read, walk, think, talk. Let your nervous system wind down naturally. Day 6. Intentional consumption. Before consuming any content, ask, why am I opening this? If there's no clear reason, don't. You're retraining awareness. Day 7. Digital Sabbath. Half-day minimum. Pick 4 to 6 hours. No social apps, no content loops. Live real life. Observe your thoughts. Let boredom show up. By day 7, something shifts. You feel slower, but clearer, calmer, but sharper. Because overstimulation doesn't disappear with motivation, it disappears with boundaries. And once your baseline resets, focus feels natural again. Energy feels stable again. And you realize something powerful. You were never lazy. You were overloaded. Here's the part that really hits. You were never lazy. You were never broken. You were never behind. You were overwhelmed. In a world that profits from your attention, silence feels unnatural. Stillness feels unproductive. And rest feels like weakness. But your brain isn't designed for infinite input. It's designed for rhythm. Focus, rest, depth, recovery. When you remove the noise, you don't lose progress. You regain control. You start thinking your own thoughts again, not recycled opinions, not algorithm-fed urgency, not comparison-driven anxiety. Your thoughts. And that changes everything. Because clarity creates confidence. Confidence creates action. Action builds momentum. And momentum builds the life you've been trying to force. You don't need more motivation videos. You don't need another productivity hack. You need fewer distractions. Protect your attention like it's currency. Because in 2026, it is. And the person who controls their mind controls their future. If this hit you, ask yourself, are you tired?